Good evening, Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. I'm Joshua Garcia. Welcome to Balitang Pambansa. Tonight's headlines. Government has further ramped up its efforts to combat the spread of fake news. Most of the administration's senatorial bets continue to fare well, as shown in a survey conducted by the Social Weather Stations, or SWS. The highly anticipated military exercise between Philippine and U.S. forces officially opens. To start our tonight's stories, the pace or rate by which disinformation and fake news spreads has reached alarming levels, given the 2025 midterm polls just 3 weeks away, and much of this surge in the spread is fueled by cash or a financially compensated scheme allegedly bankrolled by Duterte diehard supporters with deep pockets. Now the government is fighting back and urging the public to aid in the crusade against the lies of the disinformation with tips on how to spot and determine fake news sources online, as our Clisel Pardilla tells us in this report.
Ariel, a college student, is extra cautious about what he reads online, especially during the election period.
Kapag po may mga kumakalat na fake news, naapektuhan po yung mga credentials ng mga candidate. Nalalayo po tayo sa mga mas deserving na candidates.
To curb the spread of fake news, President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. has issued a strong directive.
Diin po ang direktiba ng ating Pangulo na sawatain, pigilan ang fake news. Hindi po ito nakakaganda sa gobyerno, hindi po ito nakakaganda sa ekonomiya, at hindi rin po ito nakakaganda sa taong bayan.
The Presidential Communications Office, or PCO, is ramping up efforts to fight disinformation by holding regular press briefings and releasing verified updates on government programs and services. The agency also partnered with Verifiles to boost media literacy among state-run media networks like PTV.
Ang fake news makakapag-diskaril ng isipan ng tao, ng taong bayan. Kaya nga po gumagawa ngayon ng aksyon, nagkakaroon po ng pagpupulong ang Presidente, ang Pangulo, sa mga heads of the agencies, especially DICT, para po matugunan na po at mabawasan na po itong mga fake news na nagkakalat, lalong-lalo na po ngayon, campaign season.
Aside from misleading content, lawmakers expressed alarm over fake social media accounts spreading false narratives. According to a Reuters report, 33% of accounts discussing former President Rodrigo Duterte's case in the International Criminal Court, or ICC, are fake. These accounts reportedly circulated pro-Duterte messages while undermining the credibility of the ICC. The scope of these deceptive online activities has extended well into the midterm elections, allegedly aimed at swaying voters' opinions.
Ginagamit po nila sa pang-impluwensya ng voters, sa pang-sway ng voters, at minsan nga nagkakos na ng tension sa fear. Ang bright side lang po, nakakuha po tayo ng commitment from Meta. Nagkaroon po ng regulatory committee or commission, tutulong po sila sa ating pinaglalaban.
Cybersecurity experts say you can spot a fake news if it has a just few friends or photos, or it lacks real or complete personal information. Clisel Pardilla, Balitang Pambansa.
The palace remains unfazed by the recent survey results showing a significant drop in President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr.'s trust and approval ratings. According to the palace, the president is not affected by any survey ratings. Whether the numbers are high or low, he will continue working and serving the Filipino people, and no survey will hinder him from fulfilling his responsibilities. This comes in response to the March Pulse Asia survey, which revealed that the number of Filipinos who expressed trust in President Marcos Jr. dropped from 42% in February to just 17% in March. The palace, however, questioned the results, stating that the figures did not reflect the sentiment of the country's over 100 million citizens. It also pointed to the possible impact of disinformation and the spread of fake news on public perception.
Hindi po nabahala ang Pangulo sa anumang rating sa survey. Ang Pangulo, kahit anuman ang rating, mataas, mababa, magpapatuloy siya sa kanyang trabaho. Hindi po siya mapapahinto ng anumang survey. Sa 2,400, hindi naman po ito nagre-reflect ng sentimiento ng kabuuang more than 100 million people or Filipinos in the country.
The palace issued a memo reminding government officials that any official travel or engagement with Taiwan requires clearance from the Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA. Travel related to economics or trade is allowed but must be coordinated with the Manila Economic and Cultural Office or MECO. Officials must notify MECO and DFA before events involving Taiwanese delegations, and agreements with Taiwanese organizations cannot be signed without DFA clearance. The National Maritime Council, or NMC, thanked Google Maps for labeling the West Philippine Sea, seeing it as recognition of the Philippines' sovereignty over the area. According to Malacanang, this aligns with international agreements like the 1982 UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, or UNCLOS, the 2016 South China Sea Arbitral Award, and the Philippine Maritime Zones Act. The NMC views this label as proof of global acknowledgement of the Philippines' maritime rights, helping strengthen national identity and unity. The administration-backed senatorial candidates under the Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas coalition make up the majority of the Magic 12 in the latest social weather stations or SWS survey. Our Daniel Manalastas has the report.
Administration Senate slate Alyansa para sa Bagong Pilipinas bets continue to dominate the recent survey of the Social Weather Station or SWS, wherein 9 admin senatoriables made it to the top 12. Just like Erwin Tulfo, Lito Lapid, Tito Soto, Pia Cayetano, Bong Revilla, Abi Binay, Camille Villar, Ping Lacson, and Manny Pacquiao. And after the Holy Week break, senatorial candidates continue with their election campaign activities. Senator Pia Cayetano underscored the importance of helping one another to strengthen programs in health and education when she visited Cagayan de Oro and Misamis Oriental. Senator Francis Tolentino joined the faithful as he visited Misamis Oriental and Camiguin. He also checked on the concerns of some vendors in Cagayan de Oro. Former Senator Panfilo Lacson meanwhile addressed the importance of the implementation of the national ID as he visited Muntinlupa City. For Representative Erwin Tulfo, it's time for the Congress to study the rice tariffication law. He says, Representative Camille Villar meanwhile got the support of some Bohol officials. Former Senate President Tito Soto meanwhile reiterated his push for the 14th-month pay law as he visited Quezon City. Free maintenance medicines is what Mayor Abi Binay is also pushing for. Senator Lito Lapid got the support meanwhile of some prominent clans in Isabela. From People's Television Network, Daniel Manalastas, Balitang Pambansa.
The Commission on Elections, or COMELEC, has issued a show-cause order to candidates who campaigned during Holy Thursday and Good Friday. COMELEC Chair George Erwin Garcia stated that they found 4 candidates, 3 running for local positions and 1 party-list candidate, who posted on social media not just greetings but also messages encouraging people to vote for them. The poll body clarified that the issue was with the timing, as campaigning on Holy Thursday and Good Friday was inappropriate, though it would have been acceptable on Holy Saturday or Easter Sunday. The candidates are not immediately facing disqualification but must first respond to the show-cause orders before any case is filed.
Yung pangangampanya po, hindi po kinakailangan kasi umiikot. May stage, nagkakakanta, nagsasayaw. Pero alam niyo po, nung ginawa kasi ang batas na pinuprohibit ang pangangampanya ng Huwebes Santo at Biyernes Santo, maaari wala pang social media noong 1985. Pero ang sinabi po, bawal ang campaigning sa Monday, Thursday at Good Friday. Eh meron po dyan, nagkampanya, gamit pa rin ang kanila pong social media accounts. So ibig sabihin, pangangampanya pa rin po yan.
It has taken the country at least 3 decades to put up a minimum fleet of patrol vehicles in the water and in the air, plus the hardware of artillery and missile systems on fixed land setups to defend its sovereignty and rightful maritime and land territories. Its latest addition to its defense arsenal, the Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship, the interdiction missile system, is making its debut in 2025 Balitang military exercises that began today, and much to the dismay and dissatisfaction of China, as our Patrick De Jesus reports.
The U.S. defended the deployment of the Navy Marine Expeditionary Ship Interdiction System, or Nemesis missile system for the Balikatan exercises 2025. This move had previously drawn strong opposition from China, including the continued presence of mid-range capability or the Typhoon missile system, which the US has responded to.
If you don't intend to breach the territorial integrity of the Philippines, then you shouldn't have a concern about weapon systems that are intended to ensure the defense of the Philippines.
The Nemesis missile system arrived in the Philippines last week and will be used in maritime key terrain security operations of Balikatan in northern Luzon and the Batanes Islands. Although there will be simulated fire missions for other systems, there will be no live fire exercise that will involve the Nemesis. The Nemesis is expected to remain in the Philippines after Balikatan and could be used in other future exercises. Around 14,000 Filipino and American troops are participating in the Balikatan Exercises 2025, which officially began this Monday. There are also observers from 20 other countries. This marks the 40th iteration of the Balikatan exercise since its inception in 1991. It highlights the strengthened ties between the Philippines and the United States and reaffirms the continued commitment to the 1951 Mutual Defense Treaty.
Over the decades, it has adeptly responded to evolving threats, expanding its scope and enhancing its significance.
President Marcos Jr. has always recognized the historic and personal ties of the Philippines and the United States. Under his leadership, the government and our private sector partners are advancing our alliance in accordance with our shared security, economic, and social-cultural objectives.
Balikatan will run for nearly 3 weeks, with most of the exercises happening in Northern Luzon and Palawan under the theme Full Battle Test across land, sea, air, and cyberspace. The official stressed that the drills are unrelated to the possibility of an invasion of Taiwan and are not aimed at any particular country. Coinciding with the opening of Balikatan at Camp Aguinaldo were protests from several groups opposing the exercise.
And it's a propaganda to discredit this activity, which is very helpful to both our armed forces, the US and the Philippines.
Meanwhile, the AFP had denied a statement from China's People's Liberation Army Navy Southern Theater Command, claiming that it had driven away the Philippine Navy ship BRP Apolinare Mabini from Scarborough Shoal. The AFP called this malign information, asserting that only Philippine vessels have the authority and right to drive away other ships within our maritime zone. From the People's Television Network, Patrick De Jesus, Balitang Pambansa.
Kabataan Party List Representative Raul Manuel believes that Vice President Sara Duterte is desperate to save herself. That's why she is endorsing several senatorial candidates for the 2025 midterm elections. According to Manuel, now that the impeachment trial is just around the corner, it seems that the Vice President is allegedly gathering allies in the Senate. This, as senators will be sitting as impeachment judges, who will decide whether Duterte will be convicted or acquitted. Meanwhile, the House of Representatives praised the swift action of the Marcos administration and the Philippine National Police, or PNP, regarding the arrest of the suspects involved in the kidnapping and killing of the Filipino-Chinese businessman Anson Ke and his driver. According to House Speaker Martin Romualdez, the case proved that law enforcement institutions can resolve even the most complex crimes without harming anyone. Romualdez added that this kind of law enforcement is what our country needs: decisive, coordinated, and humane. The Philippine National Police, or PNP, reported a generally peaceful observance of Holy Week across the country with no major untoward incidents. According to the PNP, a total of 120 incidents were recorded nationwide during the Holy Week period. These included 64 drowning cases, 50 fire incidents, and several vehicular accidents in various regions. Despite the conclusion of Holy Week, the PNP said that their police force will remain on heightened alert in preparation for the upcoming elections. Pork is the hands down favorite white meat among Filipinos. We'll wonder how so many middlemen in the supply distribution chain are marking up their prices way higher for retail consumers. Our Vel Custodio dwells on the details on the latest DA undercover inspection in Marikina Public Market on pork retailers.
The Department of Agriculture or DA and Department of Trade and Industry or DTI will be issuing a notice to explain to pork industry players who still fail to comply with the agreed farm gate price and the maximum suggested retail price or MSRP for local pork. This comes after 10 rounds of market monitoring conducted by DA around Metro Manila from last week until today, wherein it was found that the pork MSRP compliance level remained stagnant at around 25%, more than a month after its implementation.
Baka magsulat na po tayo ng mga love letters, kasi yun po yung susunod na step para po ma-explain nila din for them to really, kumbaga, take it seriously na meron po tayong pinapatupad na MSR.
The notice to explain is expected to be released this week. The farm gate price should only be 230 pesos and 300 pesos is the ceiling price for sabit ulo. Meanwhile, pork cuts like ham or pige and pork shoulder or kasim should not exceed 350 pesos per kilo and 380 pesos per kilo for pork belly or lempo. The Agriculture Department is also conducting its pilot testing for the card that will serve as a tracking system from pork producers to slaughterhouses.
So yung system na ginagawa natin is galing sa farms, dinidiretso na sa slaughterhouse. So at least isang biyahe, nakakaltas na, natitipid na yon.
This will help bring prices down and make pork more affordable for consumers and determine where price issues are occurring in order to prevent profiteering. Initial testing for full implementation of the tracking system may be completed by May. From PTV, Val Custodio, Balitang Pambansa.
The Department of Foreign Affairs or DFA successfully repatriated 10 Filipinos after being victimized by illegal online recruitment schemes in Cambodia. The DFA immediately addressed the needs of the repatriates such as medical checkups, travel documents, and care packages. The department also assures that they were given legal and humanitarian aid like hospitalization, legal assistance, and emergency repatriation. DFA Assistant Secretary Robert Ferrer reminded the public to be critical when it comes to job offers online and coordinate with the DMW, DOLE, and other local government units before accepting offers to work abroad. The government is preparing to expand the country's major food hub for agricultural commodities to boost market access and ensuring a more stable food supply for consumers. This and more in tonight's Business Wrap from the Philippine News Agency.
In our business news, the government has marked 47 hectares in property owned by Clark International Airport Corporation to be used for a planned food hub for agricultural commodities. The Department of Agriculture said the development of the initial 12-hectare section will cost some 2 billion pesos. Agriculture Secretary Francisco Tiu Laurel Jr. said the project may be operational within 18 months from the start of construction. Transportation Secretary Vince Dizon said the food hub is a potential game changer for agriculture and food logistics, given Clark's strategic location near the Subic Seaport and the Subic-Clark Expressway. The DA is looking to establish other food hubs across the country to boost farm output, stabilize food supply and prices, increase farmers' income, and generate jobs. Meanwhile, the Department of Agrarian Reform has forgiven nearly 41 million pesos in unpaid debt owed by more than 1,000 agrarian reform beneficiaries in Mulanay, Quezon. DAR's Calabarzon Regional Office distributed certificates of condonation with release of mortgage to 1,124 ARBs with outstanding amortizations and interest with the Land Bank of the Philippines. The condonation covers 1,390 collective certificates of land ownership awards over 1,662 hectares of agricultural land. This is made possible by the new Agrarian Emancipation Act signed by President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. in July 2023. The law is expected to benefit over 610,000 farmers and write off 57.5 billion pesos in land-related debts. In 2024, Marcos reaffirmed his commitment to completing the government's agrarian reform agenda by the end of his term in 2028. And that's the latest business news from the Philippine News Agency. This is Marita Muahe for Balitang Pambansa.
Stay tuned. Your Balitang Pambansa will be back after these few reminders.
Sa inyong pagiging mabuting pastol at ama sa aming mananampalatayang Pilipino, baunin ninyo sa inyong pagyao ang aming mga panalangin at walang hanggang pasasalamat. Paalam, mahal naming Santo Papa.
Ang pinaka-importante po sa akin bilang mamamahayag is to shine the light on important issues para higit silang maintindihan. More than the rhetoric over and above the debate, ang pag-uusap po natin ay magbubunga ng mga idea at solusyon. At yung mga solusyon na yan ang maaring maging basihan para sa konkretong aksyon. Ayan mga kaibigan, halina po kayo at pag-usapan natin.
Tutukan tuwing Lunes at Huwebes alas 8 ng gabi. Dito lang sa PTV. Sa mismong araw ng halalan, may mga gawaing ipinagbabawal sa ilalim ng batas para mapanatili ang kaayusan at kaligtasan ng lahat. Ayon sa ating Omnibus Election Code, iiral ang liquor ban at ipagbabawal ang pagbebenta, pagbibigay at pag-inom ng alak isang araw bago ang eleksyon. Hindi rin maaaring tumanggap o magbigay ng libreng pagkain, inumin, pamasahe o regalo mula sa mga kandidato. Bawal na ang pangangampanya, pati na rin ang pagtitinda malapit sa mga polling precinct. Bawal din ang pagboto ng higit sa isang beses o pagsasubstitute para sa isa pang botante. At hindi rin muna papayagan ang mga sabong, karera, boxing, perya at iba pang recreational sports sa araw ng halalan. Isang mahalagang paalala mula sa inyong Election TV. Naghahangad ng isang malinis, maayos at mapayapang halalan para sa bayan.
The government is extending efforts to locate the missing crew members of the sunken Honghai 16 in Occidental Mindoro as the death toll continues to rise. Dayan Gurembalem from the Philippine Information Agency Mimaropa has the details.
The death toll in the capsized sand vessel Honghai 16 in Rizal Occidental, Mindoro rises to 9 as another 2 bodies were recovered by the Philippine Coast Guard Special Operations Group on Sunday.
Ongoing pa rin yung underwater search operation natin, ma'am, kasi considering na may dalawa tayong missing individual, pinangunahan ng technical diving group ng National Headquarters kasama ang Special Operation Group ng Coast Guard District Southern Tagalog.
According to PCG's initial investigation, the MV Honghai was manned by 25 crew, comprising 13 Filipinos and 12 Chinese nationals. It also carried sand, almost 2,000 liters of lube oil, and 30,000 liters of automotive diesel oil when it capsized as it prepared to sail on April 15. The PCG has deployed oil spill booms in the area as a preparation for an oil spill.
Aside from underwater search operation, mayroon din tayong separate teams na tinatawag na Marine Environmental Protection Group ng Philippine Coast Guard na nagkakandak ng seaborne patrol monitoring within the vicinity of the vessel. So aside from that may shoreline patrol monitoring team din tayo na.
The local government commended the PCG's swift efforts on the incident.
On behalf of the whole LGU and the municipality of Rizal, we would like to extend our deepest gratitude sa buong Philippine Coast Guard. Hindi po talaga sila tumigil maging ang kanilang special unit to help us kung ano ba ang mga dapat na move. And again,
the Marine Environmental Protection Enforcement Response Group with the Provincial Environment Management Unit has conducted water sampling to determine the incident's impact in the area. From Philippine Information Agency Mimaropa, Dayan Francis C. Gurembalem for Balitang Pambansa.
Two weather systems will bring rains and cloudy skies to the rest of the country. According to Pag-asa, the Intertropical Convergence Zone or ITCZ will bring cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms to Caraga, Davao Region, Sarangani, Sultan Kudarat, Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi. It will also bring partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms to the rest of Mindanao. Cloudy skies with scattered rains and thunderstorms will prevail in eastern Mindanao due to the easterlies, while Metro Manila and the rest of the country will experience partly cloudy to cloudy skies with isolated rain showers or thunderstorms also due to the easterlies. Meanwhile, a danger level heat index of 48 degrees Celsius has been recorded today in San Ildefonso, Bulacan. And that concludes our rundown of the latest, widest, and most comprehensive news and information from all across the nation. This is your trusted news source, always ready to inform and serve the Filipino people. Catch Balitang Pambansa again tomorrow at 7 a.m., 12 noon, 6 p.m., and 9:30 p.m. for more updates and developments. From PTV, I'm Joshua Garcia, and this is Balitang Pambansa.